So this is the most awaited topic for the day. Barriers to a woman. Can we break them? There are a lot of barriers to women. It's not in science. In everyday life, we are facing a lot of barriers. But I'm going to focus about barriers to a woman as a scientist. So this is a very hot topic in science, and this is a very elaborate topic. But first, I will be going through my personal story. Then I will go through the general aspects of this. So the first barrier, as a young vet, it happened in at the age of 24. When I was a final year vet student, I was so confused about my career. I don't know what I want to become. So there were three main options in front of: go and work as a veterinarian, or choose research, that means go for master's degree, or try some administrative service like civil service. These are the three things in my mind. And I don't know what I really want to do, because I like all of these things with an equal passion. So I went to one of my teachers, Dr. Suryadas. He's an assistant professor in Department of Surgery and Radiology in Pukod Veterinary College. I went to him, discussed with him, sir, these are my concerns. I don't know what I want to choose. I don't know whether I have to work as a veterinarian, or whether I have to go for a master's degree, or whether I have to focus on civil service. So he gave me a fantastic idea. Why don't you try for a master's degree in IVRI and chase your dream for your civil service there? Then I thought, okay, this is a great idea. And I did my master's degree in veterinary pathology and graduated in 2015. So this is my advice for you. If you are in your final year of your bachelor's degree, find your career interest. What's your actual interest? Do you want to work as a veterinary surgeon, or do you want to go for research, or do you have any other ideas in your mind? And find a mentor, find a teacher, approach him or her and discuss your concerns. Trust me, they will help you. They will advise you. They will give you the recommendations. They will give you the expert opinions. You will get a clear-cut idea of what you really want to do in your next couple of years. So the second barrier to me was at the age of 26. So I completed my master's degree and came back to Kerala. And there comes the concern like, oh, get married soon. Your age is 26 now. Okay, so this is a relevant concern. And I thought, okay, I'm taking a break. I'm not going for my PhD degree. So let us deal with this marriage. Okay, I went and worked as a veterinary surgeon on contract basis for 1 year, like 2015 August to 2016 July. So during that time, I could identify my likes and dislikes, because I was enjoying my career as a veterinary surgeon, and that was a really fantastic job. I could feel the difference, and I was thinking like, okay, I'm liking research more than being a veterinary surgeon, because research is so exciting. I can see, but being a veterinary surgeon, it's every day same. There is not much difference. Same cases like mastitis cases or same pet animal cases. There is no excitement for each day. So that convinced I'm more enjoying research than being working as a veterinary surgeon. And I talked to many people, to my seniors who is already doing research in like different foreign countries, in Europe, in the US, and also in IVRI. I talked to many different people, and I talked to many senior veterinary surgeons in the field, and I tried to find out what are the positives and negatives about all these. So this is my suggestions to you, my young vets. Please identify your likes and dislikes. If you're so confused about your likes and dislikes, just explore all the opportunities, reach to a clear-cut conclusion of what you really want to do, and talk to people. Go for a deep discussion with people in different fields. Try to learn about the positives and the negatives of all the fields, and take a decision and choose your career from there. Okay, so in 2016, I got admission for PhD Veterinary Medicine Department, University of Maryland. Yeah, that's a proud moment. It's a rare opportunity. And there comes the next barrier to me at the age of 26. Like when we were seeking different marriage proposals, this question was the major villain. Going for PhD in the USA for 5 years? It's not acceptable. It was not acceptable at all. But I could convince my family about my passion why I want to become a researcher, why I am liking my research over the career as a veterinary surgeon. And I could convince my family about the benefits of doing a PhD in the US, about the money benefits, about the experience I am going to get, about all the opportunities I can explore. Then I did a little bit of research and tried to learn about the opportunities for the spouse, what job he can get, what he can do, whether he can go for some studies or like job. So I explored everything and I think I could convince them. Then at the age of 2018, after completing my first year in University of Maryland, there comes the biggest barrier. Trust me, that barrier was the most difficult barrier for me. So my professor in University of Maryland, he got a position in Indiana University, and he gave me different options like, Asha, either you can come with me or you can stay in Maryland University. You can choose a different faculty, whatever you want to do, feel free to do. And I thought, okay, this is just after my first year of PhD. In that time, I am just learning the US culture and I am just adapting to the US culture. And I was not able to make a decision. And this time, I am going to get married as well. So that was a tough time for me. And this was a challenge. I talked to my fiancé and he told me that, okay, you try to go to Indiana University because your professor is a nice person or he is a very supporting person. So don't hesitate to go with him. And I thought, okay, it sounds perfect. Okay, I'm going to Indiana University with him. And my major was changed to microbiology. So in Maryland University, I was doing my PhD in veterinary medicine, which is a very well-known topic for us. It's not a different one. But this one, oh God, this was a very different topic. I have no idea about this microbiology because this is not something what we are learning as veterinary microbiology during your undergraduates. This is a very basic microbiology, and the subjects are like structure of bacteria, structure of virus, gene expression, biochemistry. So, but anyway, I chose that decision and I moved to Indiana University, and currently I am studying in Indiana University. I am a third year PhD student here. So the tragedy was I was forced to start my PhD all over again in Indiana University in 2017 fall. I lost my first year of PhD in Maryland. So that was not an easy decision, but anyway, I made that decision. We started our lab in Indiana University, and I was the only member in that lab because this is a brand new lab in Indiana University, and me and the professor, only two members. And I was given a research project, and I was so excited about my research project. And I was facing continuous 16 failures in the first 6 months. No results, no way. And that was not an easy time because I have moved to a new place like Indiana University. The people around me all are new. I have no idea about like, okay, what is research? I did not have any seniors. So after that 16 failures, in March 2018, I could successfully come up with a protocol or a method where I could make recombinant rotavirus using the newly established reverse genetic system. So that was such a happy moment for me. This is a like screenshot of the post my professor posted in Facebook saying congratulations to me. And I am interested to discuss you about the comment he made during that time. This is just an amazing accomplishment, Asha. I am so proud of your persistence and commitment. You deserve this success because I did not lose my hope in spite of my 16 failures. I did not have any seniors to ask for any help. So I was reading a lot of papers and I was reading and I was watching YouTube videos to find out an experimental protocol, and I tried different methods and I did not lose my hope. So this is my lab currently now. So we have around like this many members, and still I am the senior member in the lab. I am a third year PhD student, and this is my advice to you guys. Sometimes our research does not work in the way we wanted. Sometimes we may not get any positive results. Sometimes our friends will be getting publications or they will be receiving lot of appreciation. Still, we may not be getting anything. Face your challenges. Don't lose your hope. Work consistently, be committed, be motivated, because if you take up the challenge, you can bring up success. The next barrier to me, because this is 1 year after my wedding, so my husband was working in the UAE, and he told me that, okay, let us plan like this. He will resign from his job and he will come back to the US. What happened was his US visa got denied twice. And that was such a bad time. And we did not have any idea like how to overcome that situation. And sometimes I thought about dropping my program because he is not able to come to the US. He is the man behind my success. He supported me that I said, so like, don't drop your program. Anyway, you started it. So let us finish it. So you have a passion for your research and you are doing well. I will patiently wait until you complete your PhD degree. Finally, he could come here after overcoming all those challenges. Now he is studying here and he is working here as well. So this is an advice to the spouse and husbands, in-laws and families. Please support her. Support her to chase her dream. She may not be able to change the world, but she can improve this world by his small effort. Please help her to complete her passion. You are the one person, husband or the spouse or fiancé, in-laws. You are the big support system for her to come up with a success. So these are the personal barriers I have been through, and I could overcome everything. And I feel now I'm a happy researcher, and I'm so proud to say I am a researcher. These lists are the like barriers to a woman in science discussed by different people in different workshops. Okay, so I'm not going through everything listed here, but let us discuss like some of these. Institutional sexism. Yes, it's there a little bit, not much. It's not common nowadays. A few years before, institutional sexism was there because when somebody is thinking about making a power structure to the university or for any research program, they always preferred the male over the female. I don't know what was the reason. It could be some professional discomfort of including female research group into a team of male. Earlier days when females were going for a faculty position, there was some unconscious bias because males were chosen over the females for some reason. It could be like people may be thinking females may not be productive, they may not be able to come up with grants or projects or something was there. And the next barrier to women is lack of networks, because most of the females may not have much networks with other researchers, so we may not be able to know about the different opportunities that is available. So lack of networks of course was a problem, and lack of role models and mentors. We did not have wonderful role models or female mentors who can show their experiences or how they could overcome all these challenges. And the culture of science, it was male dominated, but currently it is changing. The females are given some opportunities, and sometimes the research group will consider pregnant employee is a liability for them, or sometimes they will consider a handicapped person. So that's a bad thing. So, and some people will think women has family commitments, they have to take care of their kids, the kids need their mothers, it's not concern of the fathers. Still there are these barriers, but we are overcoming that. Okay, so how to break these barriers? Society is changing like every field is changing, but this change is very slow and it is painful. It's painful to accept women as head of the institution, and it is very difficult to assign some duties to women, but it is changing and we need joined up strategy. So the strategy has to begin from our family, and it has to go through the society, and finally it has to come up to the scientific field. So dear parents and husbands and in-laws, please support the girls. And the next one is respect the individual's experience. Don't show the discrimination like that's a woman, She cannot do that. She may not be able to produce the result. Please stop that. Please try to respect her as an individual. Don't bring the gender here. Okay. And the last one is be open to the unexpected. Please accept it. If some woman is making wonders, please accept it. It is unexpected. I know it is unexpected, but please accept that.